Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. So this time we have Usman's list from the Brotherhood 1K one-day event that took place last weekend, and he took first place with Dark SPYRAL. So really awesome list to run through here for you guys, and we've got some comments from him on the list as well. And on top of that we have the rounds and the siding strategy, so let's take a look at the list to start with. So triple Armageddonite, 1 Destrudo, 1 Ibly, triple Super Agent, 1 Last Resort, 1 Drone, 1 Quick Fix, 1 Master Plan, 1 Sleeper, then triple Gamma and the 1 Driver, 1 Resort, 1 Ravine, triple Terraforming, triple Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Spiral Mission Assault, triple Big Red, triple Call by the Grave, 1 Rota, 1 Upstart, 1 Foolish, 1 for 1, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Soul Charge, and of course, double Mission Rescue. So a really solid looking list. There's not too much to explain with this. He couldn't actually get a hold of Ashes or Drolls, so he just went with the Gamma engine, and it really paid off for him, especially being able to negate the opposing hand traps. He essentially has 6 ways of dealing with opposing hand traps with this, and the Call by the Graves on top. So for the extra deck, double Helix, 1 Linkaribo, 1 Mermaid, double Goblin, 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn for the Nightmare package, then 1 Trigate Wizard, the Firewall, the Borreload, and then he's playing the Powerful Dragon engine basically with the Armageddonites in there. Then the Shaddoll engine makes its way in here, so we have a Shekanaga here, and there's also a Princess Sprite. So we'll see the Shaddoll fusions here in the side deck alongside a Dragon. He's also siding the Tufts for going second, Cherries alongside an Isolde, so he can basically just thrash Goki any time he goes up against it. Double Impermanence here, and a triple red reboot for all of those back row heavy decks and stuff like Trickstars. So let's take a look at the siding strategy next. So this siding strategy is essentially based on his rounds. So we'll go through the rounds and the siding strategy together. So round 1, he went up against Fire King and he 2-0'd them. So when he was siding, he put in 2 copies of Tuff and took out the 2 Armageddonites. Round 2, he went up against Pendulum and 2-0'd them again. Putting in the Tufts, the Fusions, and the Infinite Impermanences. He actually forgot to side in the Dragon here, but it didn't actually make too much of a difference, because he still ended up winning this game. And he was taking out the Armageddonite engine pretty much in its entirety, the Armageddonites, the Destrudo, the Ravine. Also taking out the Soul Charge and the Big Red because he was going second, so he didn't think they were entirely necessary. You don't really need that third Big Red if you're taking out the Armageddonite engine. So round 3, he was against Invoked Mech Knight Strikers. So this is a little bit more of an interesting deck. It can establish something of a grind game as well. So for this, he was putting in the Infinite Impermanences, the Fusions, and the Dragon, because that allows him to assemble an OTK, taking out the Armageddonite engine here as well. So with the, anytime you go up against a sort of striker list, if they leave up their sort of minimal board of just like a Link monster with a set Widow Anchor, as long as you open something like a fusion, a Shaddoll fusion against them alongside any of your Reborn cards, you're able to set up an OTK that pops the set Widow Anchor that they've got. So you can just thrash them with the Shaddoll engine, which is really cool to see. So he went 2-1 there. Then round 4 against Anti-Meta. This is another 2-1 game. So he was siding in the Tufts, back row removal, Infinite Impermanences to deal with the, you know how they leave the Floodgate monsters on board and just have to be able to get around them. And also putting in the reboots, because obviously if they set an actual trap Floodgate, then you have to deal with it. Also taking out the Armageddonite engine here, plus the Soul Charge and the Big Red there too. For Trickstar Strikers, obviously it's a little bit different because they do have that option of just reincarnationing you partway through your combo, and it can really screw things up. So against this, he actually went 2-0. He put in the Tufts, the Shaddoll fusions, so that he can set up that OTK with the Dragon, and then the reboots in order to deal with reincarnation. There's a lot of stuff going in the side deck, and it's basically achievable by taking out most of the Dark engine, and then a lot of the going first stuff like the Soul Charge, that kind of thing. As for Pure Striker, this was his round 6, he went 2-0 here. He was putting in the Tufts again, the Fusions so that he can set up that OTK, just taking out the same kind of thing as before. He left him one Armageddon Knight, just in case he felt he needed it, because you can send the dragon with it and stuff like that as well. And then finally, he went up against Altergeist in round 7, and he 2-0'd them as well. So he was putting in the double tough, the double infinite impermanence, and 3 copies of Red Reboot, so you can just shut down the deck pretty much straight away, and then taking out the, obviously the Armageddon Knight engine, because it's just not as good when you're going second. So really solid, winning every single round from this 7-round event, playing a very awesome looking list here as well. So let's go through some of the comments that he made on the list. So we said that Dark Spiral is what I've been testing since before Nats, and it's all that I had access to for the event. Armageddon Knight is my favourite card in the game, so I wanted to play this variant especially. The main is very much in line with the sort of Dark Spiral list that we've seen come up recently. He's been testing it really extensively in order to make it achieve this level of success. So looking at the extra deck, obviously this event took place after Saiho became legal, so you might expect a Borosword to be in here, perhaps instead of Borreload or something else, but he said that because there was only really one slot in the extra deck, which was initially Gumblar until he decided to change it to Shekanaga, and he wants to shout out Luigi and Jorde for this, for lending him the fusions. Because of that, there wasn't space for the Borosword, so you can actually fit it in alongside the other things. I mean, potentially you could put it in instead of the Borreload, but then sometimes you do just have to be able to take that card in order to deal with it instead. And then he wanted to mention, he said that all in all, this proves that the game isn't 100% pay to win. There are definitely alternatives to Striker and Goki that are currently available in the deck, in the game, and can win events. So yeah, he just went out, won this enormous event. The Brotherhood 1K 1 day event was absolutely huge. So many competitive players from the UK went to this, and then he has pulled out on top with Dark Spiral. So really insane here. As for the hardest matchups that he had, he says that the hardest one on the day was probably the Invoked Mech Knight, because he bricked game 1 and 3, but he still managed to get the Sleeper to go off, Sleeper with Last Resort, and that just lets you win games. He says Sleeper is 100% ban worthy, as any time that he messed up his combos, he still ended up winning, because Sleeper and Firewall getting rid of 5 monsters by bouncing 3 and popping 2, versus something like Pendulum seems pretty much alright. He finally wanted to end on a poem, so here we go. Roses are red, Duncan is shite, and I mained 3 Armageddon Knight. He wants to credit this to Vlad, and he wants to give shoutouts to IQ Games Center in Huddersfield and the Brotherhood, and also thanks to everyone for giving him help and support. So congratulations for doing so well at the Brotherhood 1K 1 day event with a really awesome looking list. It's great to see Dark Spiral doing so well in this meta and just taking down the giants of Goki and Sky Strikers and Tricksars. As always, thank you for watching this video, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.